Hi everyone, welcome to Carpe Diem Sailing. My name's Marco, I'm a Sail Canada cruising instructor, and in today's video, we'll be talking about the Mustang Inflatable PFD, how to select one, and how to rearm the hydrostatic version after deployment. Hi, and welcome to Carpe Diem Sail Training. We're here today with Tony from Mustang Survival and also Steveston Marine and Hardware. We're going to be taking my old Mustang Inflatable PFD, which is expired, and we're going to be rearming it. And so what I want to do is just have Tony introduce himself a little bit, talk a little bit about what he does for Mustang, and also the kinds of things that you should be looking at when maybe selecting a PFD and how long they're good for, and also when they might need to be rearmed, like we're going to do here. Following that, we're going to actually have somebody volunteer to set it off, and we'll have that on film, and then we're going to film the whole rearming and repackaging. All right, Tony, thank you for coming in.
Well, thanks very much, Marco.
So first off, what sort of PFDs do we have available for people?
We have a very large number and variety of PFDs, and what I always like to ask people is, what kind of boating are you doing? Okay. Are you sailing? Are you power boating? Are you fishing? Are you paddle boarding? You're going to require a different unit depending on the type of boating you're doing. Okay. This particular vest here is really ideal for the sailing community. This is our MD 3154, which utilizes the built-in harness for clipping on for sailing and having that safety. It's a hydrostatic vest. We make vests that use what's called the Hockey-Roberts activating system and the Hamar activating system. Okay. The Hockey-Roberts is a little less expensive. It uses a yellow, what we call a super bobbin, which is designed for the water to come into it. It softens and fires it off. I remember that from my old crew fit. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then we have the hydrostatic. And the hydrostatic works on water pressure as opposed to moisture. It requires 3 inches of water pressure to activate it, which is about 8 to 10 inches of depth before it's going to fire off. So the advantage of the hydrostatic units is that they're not moisture sensitive at all. And they only need to be replaced every 5 years. Okay, so that brings me to my next point is, when do these need to be? So I'm quite expired on this one. Yes, this one is actually 2012, which is why we're going to fire it off. Okay. But it actually says on it, replace if red during 2012. Okay. And we see that that is actually in fact red. All right. And maybe later you can zoom in on that. I'll get a close-up of that. Exactly. Sure. All right. All of the inflatable vests are very comfortable to wear. And this particular vest provides 38 pounds of buoyancy and lift. And when we talk about buoyancy, what we're talking about is the amount of lift on the back of our collar or the back of our neck, pulling us up out of the water. Okay. We're all about neutral in the water. Right. We're all going to be a pound negative to a pound buoyant. So what we're trying to do is counteract the clothing that we're wearing and what we have on, so that we can get that air way up. We can, in time of emergency, we don't want to get knocked out, but if we do pass out, this acts just like a life jacket as opposed to a PFD. Right. It's PFD rated, but it acts just like a life jacket. Okay. And the difference is, a PFD will float you, but you need to be conscious, or you may end up face forward. Good point, good point. A life jacket keeps our airway open and keeps us floating upright, regardless of being conscious. Face up in the water, regardless of being conscious or not. All right. So that's really the difference. Okay. Well, let's set it off, and then we'll do the rearming. Absolutely. Thanks again. Okay. I appreciate it. All right. Well, as promised, here we are for the deployment. So, Tony, whenever you're ready, go for it. Here we go. So it's going to be a manual deployment. We're going to pull that trigger. Good jerk if you're doing it manually. Perfect. All right. And there it is. And so there's what Tony was talking about, that buoyancy behind your head, so holding your head up, your face out of the water, and reflective. And I've also got this little strobe light that would go off as well in the water. All right, perfect. Manual backup if you need it. Okay, and perfect. And then there's so you would use that manual. Okay. Deflate it. We just simply take our little cap on the top here. We turn it upside down, and we use that to deflate it. All right, excellent. And then there's a whistle there too. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay, Tony. Thank you. We're going to cut this, and then we'll come back to the packing. Thank you very much. So we're going to now rearm the vest we just fired off, which is the MD 3154. And this uses our rearm kit, which is our Type C rearm kit, and that is the Hamar rearm kit for the 38-pound inflatable. It's called an MA7214. What comes in that rearm kit when we open it up is some instructions. We have a cylinder. We have the actual Hamar activator, hydrostatic activator, and a little key that helps us unlock the existing ring that locks this in place. So those are the fittings that we have there. So what we're going to do is we'll just unpack our new kit and make sure that we've got our key and everything ready for us to go. And again, we have the Hamar activator in here. We have the cylinder that is going to fit inside the vest bladder, and we have the key. That little key helps us unlock the ring that locks the cylinder to the unit. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about this black ring. And what happens.
Do you want to hold that up again and I'll just zoom in on it?
Sure. I'm talking about the black ring that is on here. So that's what locks this device together. We twist this black ring down, and we use the key in here to unlock the device. So that's what we're going to be doing.
And obviously there are full instructions in the kit, right?
There is a full set of instructions that show us exactly how to do all of the work that comes with it. So there's a couple of little tricks that make this job a lot easier to do. We want to deflate the vest the best we can. And by doing that, what we're going to do is take the little cap off of the top of the manual air inflation. This is where we use as our third backup system where we blow into it. We pull that cap off, we invert it, hold that on there, and then we let all of the CO2 out of the unit. And then what we're going to do is, if you take a look, we have the vest is basically almost inverted now. This is actually the side that we're used to seeing. This is what it looks like when it's inflated. What we need to do now is we need to take the cover and completely invert it from the...
We'll get you to step back a little bit just so you can see it more easily.
So now we're going to take the cover and we're going to completely invert it from the bladder. So we just do this job, and what's really important and will make our life a lot easier is if we completely invert this around like so. We let the manual activation tab come through. Now what this allows us to do is lay the bladder flat on the table, which is super important when we go to do this job. So you'll notice I've got this laying flat on the table, and I've got a clear view at everything we need to work on here. If we only half take that cover off from the core, or we take that cover from the bladder, what ends up happening is it's all twisted. And it doesn't allow us to lay this flat on a table, which is really important. We then take the key, and this is where you might want to zoom in here and take a look, but what I'm going to do is unlock the black ring from the existing Hamar that was now been activated off. So we just put this in the bottom, and we twist and turn. My hand might be in the way here for a second, but we've now unlocked that black ring. We can then lift this unit off, and we're left with the cylinder inside of the vest. And one of the features of the Hamar is that the cylinder ends up inside of the bladder. So to remove that, now what we're going to do is just loosen it off, turn the cylinder to the side, and then it will just pop out. And we pull the old unit out.
So definitely a different from my old crew fit where I just screwed in a new cylinder.
Exactly. So if I try to push that in flat or pull it out flat, we're stretching this. And this is the gasket that seals the cylinder to the hydrostatic. Now, because we don't want to confuse things, what we're going to do is we're going to throw this right out of the way. Get the old one right out of the way, throw it in the garbage. Now we have the new cylinder and the new Hamar front activating unit in the front. What's super important is we do not turn this in any way. It's very important that it's in the situation that it's locked in. We do not want to turn that, nor do we want to turn the back of this or lock it. So we want to be careful when we put it in. We simply take the cylinder and we're going to take a look at the screening that's on the vest. It shows the position that the cylinder needs to be in. So now what we're doing is the inside of this bladder material is kind of rubbery, so it's going to grab on. So we just lightly put it in here. We again turn this 90 degrees to allow it to come over top of the bladder, and it easily goes into the hole if we do that. Then we turn it flat. We know our cylinder is in the correct orientation, and we are now ready to go with putting our unit on the front of it, our Hamar unit. We just double check to make sure we're there, nice and flat. This is laying flat here. Another reason we want it on a flat surface. We then take our unit, our Hamar unit, we place it over top of the vest, so it's now in the same orientation as what we're showing on the vest. 90 degrees to the cylinder. All we do is we hold that in place, we take the black ring that's underneath, and we lock it into position until you feel it and hear it click. It's clicked into place. That is now rearmed. We then take the bladder and the cover and we re-invert it around. So we want the bladder now back inside the unit and the cover out. Careful not to pull the cord because we still have to take that handle and thread it back through. So now I grab inside, find the manual handle, and I put it back up into position. Now I'm going to take the vest, pivot around, make sure we're not twisted anywhere, and lay it flat on the table again. We're going to take the first side, and on this one, we've got one side that's a little shorter than the other. We've got a little rapid fire light in here. Let's take our manual cap. We're going to put it back on eventually. Right now what we're going to do though is we may not have all of the air or CO2 out of it yet, so we're just going to make sure we do that. So we lightly fold it back into place. It's easy to see how it naturally folds. And we have a zipper at the bottom here with a slider in the back. This is a two-way zipper that goes up and back down. So when we slide it up, it's going to still be open behind us. So don't think there's anything wrong with that. We want it to be that way. And what we do, fold this back down, put the cover around, and we slide the zipper all the way around. There's actually two zippers. There's a longer one on this side that goes around the entire back of your neck. And as you can see, we do have some more air that we need to take out of here.
Oh yeah, and that's why you left the cap.
So that's why we leave the cap undone. A little trick, which I did not do, is you can squeeze all the air out of it while the cylinder is out.
Oh yes.
But for the sake of the video, we didn't bother. So now, what we're going to do is fold this back around once we are sure we've got all the air out of it. Again, a really good thing to do is to have it on a table or something where you've got that ability to get all that air out. Put the cap back on. Fold our unit back into place in its natural place, and you'll see there's Velcro on this side. So now we hold the Velcro together, and that holds everything together as we bring the zipper down all the way. And now we're going to be going with the zipper into the locking position. See how it's closing up now?
And that one zipper goes all the way around.
Just this side. So we're going to fold this back into place, make sure everything's ready to go back in, and we slide it around to close it. Make sure our unit's back inside and our whistle is back inside. And we slide this zipper to the bottom, and then we take this whole zipper slider assembly and tail and we tuck it back up inside the vest. We then do the same thing on the other side. We have again zipper on this side, tab out, we slide it around, and we're going to go right up to the Velcro, make sure the Velcro is held in place, and we zip it back down. Put our slider and zipper tail back inside the vest on the other side. And we're ready to go. One rearmed 3154 hydrostatic vest.
All right, so once again, this is Tony from Mustang Survival, and we're with Steveston Marine and Hardware at the Vancouver Boat Show 2019. Thanks again, Tony.
Thank you very much.
See you on the water.
Absolutely. Be safe.
If you enjoyed the content, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you have subscribed and would like to be notified of new releases, make sure to click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button. And why not check out our website for more in-depth online courses? Thanks for watching. Until next time, I wish you all fair winds and following seas.